Caribbean's Adventure of the Seas. We're here today to give you our full and complete ship tour. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna head down to deck 1. You know how we do it. We'll work our way up all the way to the tip top. And then once we're complete, we'll see you back here because the promenade is just so nice looking. So let's head down to deck number 1, get started, and we'll work our way up. All right, starting at the bottom and working our way up, we'll begin with deck number 1. On deck 1, the main thing we're concerned with here is the medical facility, but of course the boarding area is also on deck 1 where you board the ship or you disembark while in port. Now something I wanted to point out here is it says access via forward lobby from deck 4 and above, because if we come up here and we look at our map, we see here, this is where Studio B is. So you've seen us on other Voyager class ships where we talked about you can't transverse these decks because Studio B is right there. So you would need to come up to 4 or above, and then you could come down like that over to this one. So it's a little confusing. Anyway, I wanted to show you. So this is where we are, as it says here on the map. We're at the midship elevators, some call it the back elevators. So we're gonna turn here, and you'll see that there is a medical sign posted up above. That's pointing us to the medical facility, which is to the left here. So this is the entrance to the medical facility. It's kind of right next to the entrance and exit here. We're in port today, so they have the gangway set up. It's just kind of put in here. You'll see there's a sign, medical facility, and it has the phone information as well as the hours of operation. So it's kind of just tucked up in this little hallway, but the sign I showed you on the ceiling as well as some on the floor, I'll show you right here. See this sign on the floor, medical facility this way. So you just go through and then into the door there next to the TV. And so then the only other thing on deck 1 would be the gangway. As you can see, the sign says here, if you are in port, of course, if you're at sea, that's gonna be all locked up. But wherever the signs direct you, you just head through and out to exit the ship. And that's gonna be it for deck number 1. It's just the boarding area and the medical facility. Let's head up to deck number 2. All right, so we've ascended the stairs. We're still back here at the Centrum or midship elevators on deck 2. Now, if we look down at our directory, we see it says Staterooms towards the back, and then the front, Staterooms as well, but the conference center is on deck 2. But you see it says access via forward lobby from deck 4 or above, because once again, Studio B blocks us off here. So this is where we are now. If we tried to walk down the corridor, we'd hit a wall. We wouldn't be able to go through. So what we need to do to show the rest of deck 2 is go up to deck 4 or any of the higher decks, but why not? Why do that? Why not just go to 4, come across, then we can come down and go to deck 2 in the front and show the conference center. So I'm gonna do that back on deck number 2. And as you see here, I am at the forward part of deck 2. So we could show you the conference center, which is just around the corner here. There's this like little welcome rotunda desk area. But as we turn back around, go through the elevators here, we'll look up to the grand staircase. We'll get to that in just a minute. But we can proceed forward. We see it says conference center, a little step down here. And it's gonna be your standard conference center setup. They have different rooms. The Caribbean room in there, so you see they have chairs, tables, television, podium in case you need to give a presentation of some kind, and then just open on through here. They have different rooms. This is the Europe room. They're working on some stuff right now, doing some maintenance, but they have the different rooms here available in the conference center in case you're having some kind of meeting, some kind of event, maybe like a banquet kind of thing. Bermuda room here. The other one didn't have a sign, so I'm not sure what it was called. But they do have several rooms available here in the conference center, which again is at the forward part of deck 2. And that's it, because if we go back out, it's just staterooms there and staterooms there. So that's it for deck number 2. Now we will head up to deck number 3. And as the video board says, we are on deck 3, and this seems like a great time to point out that near pretty much all of the elevators and stairwells, as you can see the stairs behind us here, the elevators in front, they have these touchscreen video boards which are super helpful. You can find your stateroom, a restroom, they have the cruise compass for the day, different venues you can check in on dining, look at menus, and they even have some port information down below. And at the top, what to do right now, you can click that and it'll come up, it'll show you all the events that are going on at this particular second. See, there we go. So you can check that out. But what's really cool, if you see something you want to do, you can hit map it and it will show you. So it's giving the beacon here That's where we are right now at the forward part of deck 3. But let's say, for example, that we wanted to go to the Vivaldi dining room, which is at the back of deck 3. The main dining room, so we'll click that, and now we can click map it, and see, it says take elevator or stairs to deck 4, proceed along deck 4, take elevator or stairs to deck 3, and then follow the highlighted route. So what it just did, it showed us on 3, here we go, see, and it says here, it's got the arrow, and then it switches over to deck 4. Again, because Studio B is there, we cannot just proceed down deck 3, so it's giving you that information. So I know it's a little confusing, but it will help you using these video boards. And we look at our directory. We have the theater up at the front here. That's the only thing besides staterooms, and then a lot of other stuff towards the back. Of course, this will be the last time that we'll have to go up and back to do that, but we'll show the theater here to begin at the forward part of deck 3. And as the marquee states, the theater on this ship is called the Lyric. Here is the main entrance on deck 3. Unfortunately, the theater is closed right now, but we do have some shots from some other times that we visited. We'll put those in right now to give you an idea of what it looks like inside. Very beautiful theater. Again, accessed on deck 3 or deck 4. We're still doing deck 3 right now, but we need to go back up to deck 4 because we have to head to the back of deck 3. And of course, Studio B is blocking us. So let's go up to 4, back, and then back down to 3. All right, back on deck 3, but now we are towards the back of the ship in the Centrum lift or midship elevator area. So last time I promised that we're gonna have to explain this, but let's show you what's in the back here on deck 3. We have a couple of very big ticket items. So aside from walking down the corridors to staterooms, this is the most forward part of deck 3, which is Studio B Center Ice. Of course, this is where they will do the ice skating shows or have free ice skate sessions for people who want to do that. On other ships, it would include things like laser tag. Adventure of the Seas does not currently have that because it was not able to receive royal amplification. Now, right when you come out of Studio B, you'll find yourself in the photo and art gallery. So as we turn here, you see they have the different pieces of art up for display that you can purchase, or if they have an auction. Focus Photo Gallery, that's the name, Focus. And you can see they have the kiosk. You can come up, view your photos that's been taken throughout the cruise, purchase those, do all that stuff right outside of Studio B here. And they even have camera equipment available for purchase. So if you want to buy a camera or you want to buy something to help you see better, like binoculars, they have, looks like, adapters, chargers, batteries, waterproof cases for phones, looks like Fujifilm instant print picture kind of thing, picture frames. So lots of things available for purchase here at the Focus Photo Gallery, again, right outside of Studio B. Now, we turn here through the rotunda. We're gonna shoot right through the elevator bay there for the only other thing here on deck 3. And here we are, the landing area for the very, very back aft of deck 3, which is the Sapphire Dining Room. So of course this is the main dining room, and it is multiple levels. This is where you would go in when it's open. It is currently closed, but we do have some footage of what it looks like inside. They post the hours of operation right outside here, and you can see they have it decks 3 and 4. Main seating on deck 3 and 4, second seating on deck 4. Deck 3 does breakfast, closed for lunch today because we were in port. Then my time dining on deck 3. Reservations recommended, so just check that here for your particular sailing, as it will vary. They have the kiosk here where you can check in. They have some beautiful art. Look at that, that's very nice. And on the opposite side here, they do have the menu board. So this will display, you're gonna get the lines here because of the frame rate with the camera, but it will display the menu for that evening. That is the main dining room, and as we mentioned, you will be able to find that on deck 4 as well. And that's where we're headed because deck 3 is now complete. We will not have to do any more transversing up and down. We can now just proceed straight through the decks, beginning with deck 4. So let's head up. We've landed on deck 4, and once again, Studio B is no longer blocking us. We are good to continue through with the rest of the decks until we get up to the very tip top, but that's a little bit different. So we're just gonna be able to proceed straight forward. We have a lot of fun stuff here on deck 4, but before we show you what's inside, we're actually going to turn. We're at the back of the ship. See the main dining room entrance for deck 4 there. We'll get to that in just a second. But we're gonna turn because you can actually go outside on deck 4 on this ship. So let's head outside and you see they have a lovely, some people call this like a promenade deck, where it kind of just walks around. They have shuffleboard in certain parts of it are a smoking area, and you can just walk almost the entire span of the ship. Well, really, you can do the entire span of the ship, because what's going to happen here is you can go around the backside, and this part that turns to wood and it kind of kicks out. This is the main dining room, so it just goes around there. It goes to the back where you can see out the back of the ship. It continues around, and it just looks like this on the other side, the straight thing beneath the lifeboats, the shuffleboard on down, and you keep going. And then when you get to the front, there's a set of stairs. You go up those, and that'll take you to the helipad, which we can show you how to get to that in just a second. So essentially, even though that part's on deck 5, you can complete the whole loop on this outside deck. So before we go back inside, let's head to the back, show you what that looks like, then head to the front and show you the helipad. Then we'll go back inside. So right through that corridor is where we just were. You can see the glass windows there for the main dining room. We proceeded towards the very back of the ship. This is the aft, very complete back of the ship, and it has this lovely cutouts. So you can look outside. It's really great when the ship's actually sailing, because you get that beautiful wake view that we've all come to know and love. You can see that there, and there's just this wide open section. Now normally they would have all these lounge chairs out. I believe because of COVID-19, they're not having all of those out, and we're only sailing about 33% occupancy, so not necessary to have those out. But sometimes there would be chairs here that you can lounge on. And as I mentioned, this just goes on around, so it just continues straight through. You keep on proceeding past the crew areas, but there is something important here on the starboard side of the ship. This is the service animal relief area. So if you have a service animal on board with you, this is where you can bring them for that. Now we proceed forward. Again, we're on the starboard side of the ship, heading forward. We're on deck number 4, and we see it's basically a mirror image of the other side that we already saw. There's a shuffleboard court here, then you see the windows up ahead for the main dining room. It's gonna kick out again and continue on forward. So it'll be the exact same, so we're gonna continue on through that now, and we're gonna head to the front of the ship so we can show you how to get to the helipad. All right, so now on the starboard side at the front of the ship, we look inside here, deck 4 again. This is the upper entrance to the Lyric Theater. So this is the forward elevator and stairs, but we're gonna continue on the deck outside here, and you go up these steps. Now, technically, we're gonna end up on deck 5, so skipping a little bit ahead here, but this is the best way to access the helipad. And it just continues on around. We find the helipad. It just dumps us out right here at the very front of the ship. I do believe this is as forward as you're gonna get. So you can just head up the stairs right there. They have some benches. You can head out on the bow and do the King of the World type thing, get a great view, all that jazz. You can also look back, see the front of the ship with the staterooms, ocean view, see the bridge up there, wave to the captain and the crew. They're up there doing their thing. It's a beautiful view at night. And like I mentioned, you can go this way as well on the port side, go down the stairs, do the same thing we just did. Now there's one other way to access this helipad. Let's show you that right now. We're gonna go back here just a little ways. So this is the set of stairs that we came up from deck 4 to get here on deck 5. Again, skipping a little bit ahead, but wanted to show through this door, so we go inside, and it takes us right into the Imperial Lounge, which I'll show more in depth in just a second. But this is the other way to access the helipad, is to come through the Imperial Lounge, open this door, turn left, and head towards the front. Now let's continue with our tour back down to deck 4, show you everything it has to offer. Back inside on deck 4, and since we just showed the helipad here at the front of the ship, we're gonna now be at the forward part of deck 4. So you see here, the only thing at the forward part of deck 4 is the theater. If we turn, we see there's some windows there you can kind of look into, and if you look on either side, you'll see it says the Lyric, and then you head like you're going to go outside, like you're gonna go back out to go to the helipad, and then turn in, and if the theater's open, these doors would be open. But of course it's the same, the Lyric Theater that we showed you earlier, but you can access the main entrance on deck 3. You can just also access the upper area here on deck 4. But that's the only thing in the forward part. So now we're gonna turn and head towards the back. So as we pass through the elevator bay here, forward part of deck 4, first thing we find is the schooner bar. Of course, this is the piano bar. See there? Everything you would come to know and love and expect from the schooner bar. The ropes, the sails, the dark woods, the nautical features, the bar itself that they have there. Currently not serving at this time. And the large porthole windows. They'll have nightly piano entertainment in here. Great place to relax, play some games, grab a drink, whatever you would like. And then did want to show this. Of course, we showed this sign earlier, down there, deck 3, the main entrance to the Lyric Theater, but you do have this beautiful staircase. You can do pictures here, great opportunity for a photo op, things like that. The only other thing to show in this area as we turn around, Chops Grill. Of course, this is Royal Caribbean's steakhouse, and this is where it's located, deck 4, to the forward part, just across from the schooner bar. Actually, I'll just step inside. Chops is currently closed, but just show you what it looks like in here. Lots of seating. No windows that I see. And as we exit the schooner bar, we see the dark wood and seating here. We find, what else? Casino Royale. And this one has a very lovely theme to it. It's like old school Hollywood. We really, really like that. So we can show you it now too, because it's currently closed. One thing to point out, this will not always apply, but in the era of COVID-19, currently they have every other slot machine turned off and closed, so they're keeping people spaced out. But everything you would expect to find in a casino is here, like the cash grabber game, the claw game. They have many different kinds of slot machines. See all of those in here. They do have the bar that is centrally located. They do lottery. And then over here, next to the windows on the port side, we'll find the table games area. So blackjack, roulette, craps, 3-card poker, all that stuff you love. And look, a beautiful ballroom dancing scene. And we continue on, you see even more slot machines. There's of course a ton of them. Even with half of them closed off, there's still plenty, especially like we mentioned, we're sailing at 1/3 occupancy or thereabout right now. Of course they have ATMs in the casino. We'll also show you another place you can find ATMs in just a minute. We'll wind on back here. I mean, it's just row after row. One other thing we did want to point out is in certain areas, not sure why it's not all of them, but I guess the high traffic areas, notice this, they don't have any of these turned off. Oh, currently they are because we're in port, but they don't have them permanently turned off for COVID-19. They're not spaced out, so they put the glass dividers in between them. It's kind of hard to see there, but yeah, like right in the middle there to give you some separation, I guess, because these are pretty high traffic games. Those are very popular and people like to play them. To keep those open, they did put the dividers. So you do have some different options there on how you want to go about things. If you want to sit next to someone, go with a divider, or you can spread out. And this is what we really like, the theming. Old school Hollywood, like we mentioned. Have the ticket taker. Usher, he's got the flashing light there. We have the popcorn gal. She's serving it up on the tray there. And also taking tickets. Lots of fun. They do have the cashier station there. And then as we exit Casino Royale, we see here they got the old school movie posters like King Kong, Public Enemy. And they also have Swing Time, Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers. Lots of fun. Ropes and curtains, all that. Flashing lights. This is what it looks like when you enter from this side. It's just really beautiful, that old school Hollywood look and feel. So that is Casino Royale. And now we'll turn and finish the rest of deck 4. So this is our view right when we exit Casino Royale towards the back of deck 4. We do see the Centrum artwork there. And as we turn, this is kind of Bolero's spread out, Bolero's Lounge spread out on this deck throughout this area. You see all the lounge seating, the chairs. Of course, we have the stairwells in the middle. We have some more lounge couches, tables there. And then this is the performance stage area. The band will be, or the live singer, whatever that night or afternoon's entertainment is. More chairs and tables, and of course, the bar in the middle here. You have the big porthole windows looking out. Lots and lots of seating. So again, this is all kind of considered Boleros, one area. It's just spread all around throughout this deck. There's not even really too much of a sign except just right above the bar. That's the only way, I think, to know what is actually here. And then we proceed forward. We see the little walk across bridge here. We'll do photos at night, many evenings. We'll pass through the elevators, and what do we find? The dining room, of course, as we mentioned, available on decks 3 and 4. So this is the last bit of the dining room that you'll see. And this is what it looks like to enter on deck 4, but it is the same exact dining room as on deck 3. It's just different levels. Here's a panoramic view of the upper level, deck 4. And looking down into the deck 3 main area, the grand stairwell, the beautiful artwork and the statue, the chandelier, and as you can see, there's even stairs that will go up to an even higher level, which I believe is more of like an overflow thing. I don't think that's going to be utilized too much. But this is it, the main dining room, and this is also the last thing on deck number 4. And we find ourselves on deck number 5 in the aft part. We're here at the Centrum lift area. First thing, want to turn, go towards the very back, very aft of the ship. Again, sapphire dining room. So we mentioned decks 3 and 4, that's kind of the main part, but then there is some dining room seating here on deck 5 as well, which we showed you looking up. So that is where you will find that. They have the menu board the same here as well. So that's at the very back of deck 5. Now we turn, we see the lovely Royal Promenade. So let's proceed through with that, show you everything it has to offer. The first thing we see, again, of course, this lovely chandelier artwork that they have suspended here. You'll see that on multiple decks, as you can tell. We've already seen it many times. If we look up on the sides of the Royal Promenade, we see these glass windows here. Those are promenade view interior rooms. Chelsy and I stayed in one of those on Independence of the Seas, so you can check out that playlist if you want to get an idea what the room is like. And you can see these on deck 6 here, deck 7 here, are kind of just looking straight out. Deck 8 is kind of tilted a bit at the window, so you kind of look more down. So deck 6, 7, and 8, you can find those promenade view rooms. And they are interior, so you don't have an ocean view or anything, but you do have these lovely windows you can look down and see the promenade, and which can be a lot of fun. There's a lot of stuff that goes on, so you can check all that out. Now let's continue the tour of deck 5 here. Before we get into the Royal Promenade, there are actually 2 things worth noting. So when we come here on the port side of the ship, we find, see the champagne glasses with the bubbles, because this is like the champagne lounge on board. Lots of comfortable seating, some beautiful artwork, and check this out. They even have like water. I don't know if this is supposed to mimic champagne or what, but there's bubbles coming up. Let's see, there was a couple, oh, there they go. See that? Whew, that's pretty cool. Bubbles going up, diamonds on top. So yeah, champagne lounge and bar, lots of seating, tables, chairs, porthole windows, a little bit blocked by the lifeboats, but you still get a bit of a view there. And then what else? The bar. Gotta have the bar and the champagne bar. So you'll find that here, tucked away, of course closed right now. But now we're gonna head across to the other side, something very important over there. Across from the champagne bar on the starboard side of the ship, we will find guest services. Of course, if you have any questions, you need anything handled with your account, you have any service issues, this is where you're going to come. They do put the daily cruise compasses out here for you to grab, as well as some information about the officers on the ship and the security guide for you to grab there. There is another ATM, I mentioned I would show you that. Where you can find that one right there, and then that begins the guest services desk. So you just wait in line here. They have the different assistants there to give you any help with anything that you need. That continues on along, and then right at the end of it, we do have the shore excursions desk. So this is not the newer ones that you've seen on other ships where they have like the iPads and you go up and do it yourself. This is the standard shore excursion desk. You can come here, book any excursions that you may not have booked before your cruise on the cruise planner, and you can also find their hours of operation right here at the end of the desk. Now begins the official Royal Promenade walk. Let's head in. Right below the archway welcoming us in, we do find the statue artwork here. One little minor thing over here, we do see the Voom Internet at Sea desk. If you want to purchase an internet package or you have questions, you can head there for that. And over there we do see another ATM. If you want to, the other one's occupied or not working, you can use that one there. And then they also have the shopping expert desk located right when you enter the promenade here if you have questions about shopping. Let's proceed down the promenade here. First thing we'll notice, they'll have these little kiosks in the middle. Everything's gonna be closed right now because we are in port. But if they were open, they'd be selling things here in the kiosk. And of course these stores. So the first store here is gifts and jewelry. And as the name suggests, that's what they have. Jewelry that you can give as a gift. Across from the jewelry store, we have the general store. This is where you will find alcohol, liquor, tobacco, some snacks, different things like that. Those are gonna be inside this store here. Proceeding along the promenade, one thing I wanted to point out, they have these cool banners that hang down in different colors that say adventure. We look right across here, we see Izumi sushi, not hibachi on this ship, just sushi, but how cool, it's right here in the promenade. You can see the sushi bar back there. They're closed right now, so there's no food laid out, but this is normally where it would be displayed. Plenty of seating around, and the tables just continue on through there. Right across from Izumi, over on the port side next to the general store, we find the Logo souvenir store. You see the crown and anchor? What else is gonna be in there but Royal Caribbean official merchandise? So this is where you can go inside. You can find bags, clothes, hats, watches, toys, all of your Royal Caribbean logo with the crown and anchor, all your favorite things, ship name, all that stuff, dresses, hats, shirts, cups, bottle ships, all of that fun stuff inside of this store. Proceeding along the Royal Promenade, the next stop we find here is the fun little colorful sign tells us it is the Duck and Dog. They do have some tables and chairs out here, or stools out in the promenade itself, but of course you can also go in, and this is the pub on board. So as you would expect, dark woods, very dark lighting in here. There's a small stage set up for nightly performance. They have even more tables and chairs, and hello, the actual bar itself. Gotta have that inside the pub. So you can see that there. And the one television, well, they will have sports usually playing. Some fun artwork up there on the wall as well. It's cool, they have this like little street sign here to help keep track of where everything is. Perfume and cosmetics. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. That's exactly what's gonna be in here, perfume and cosmetics. You'll see this sign here says Casino Royale, and it will take you back into the casino. Before we continue the tour, I wanted to point out the fun artwork with the statues up there working on things. Got the hammer and the nails out. This guy's kind of taking it easy. He's just resting right now. Lots of fun artwork available on the promenade, so take a second and enjoy that. As we proceed forward, the next thing that we'll find here, the Coca-Cola Freestyle machines. This, of course, if you have one of the drink packages. Now, they are serving you currently because of COVID-19. Normally, you could just come up and get it yourself, but they do have those available here in the promenade. Right next to Ben & Jerry's, you can see the counter here. They have the display case, the different flavors of ice cream available. It's also available on the menu board with the different prices because this is an additional cost. This is not included with your cruise fare. They also have some specialty coffee beverages here as well. So it looks like they're also serving up some Starbucks. So you can find all of that here. Moving on, we look across from that and we find one last store here, Fashion Boutiques. As you might guess from the name, this is maybe a little bit higher end clothing. The last thing we see here is Cafe Promenade, which is really cool. It has this nice car parked outside here. Cafe Promenade is going to be the thing that's open almost all day, almost 24 hours. And they'll be serving up different things. So at breakfast, they'll have breakfast items. At lunch, dinner, they'll have sandwiches, cold cuts, sometimes fruit, vegetables, pizza. That's where you're gonna find it on this ship, as it does not have Sorrentos. So they'll have a daily pizza, and every day they'll have like vegetable, pepperoni and cheese. And they'll also have some dessert offerings. They change out each day, jello, cakes, cookies, cream puffs, different things like that. And then fruit, like I mentioned. And back here, they have the drink station. They are currently serving drinks to you because of COVID-19 protocol. So they'll always have water, sometimes tea, sometimes lemonade. They'll get those for you, as well as your condiments. Here we have more seating, and it continues on back to the back side there. And then over here we have coffee, tea. They'll be happy to get those for you there as well. Of course, this is all included with your cruise fare here at Cafe Promenade. So you just tell them what you want, they'll get that for you there. And then lots of seating. Even with some of the tables reserved to allow for distancing, there's still plenty of seating available here in Cafe Promenade. And with Cafe Promenade complete, that is going to complete our tour of the promenade, but we are not yet done with deck 5. We have one last thing to show you at the very front of the ship. So just below and behind the Good Fortune, you'll see these beautiful lion statues, as well as the bamboo plants. We head inside, and you start to see the Asian theming, the Asian influence. Gorgeous, absolutely stunning. And we head forward and we're going to find the Imperial Lounge, which we gave a little bit of a sneak preview earlier when we were showing you how to get to the helipad. Again, Asian influence continuing. Now before you head into the Imperial Lounge, we look to our left, we see doors, but that is crew only, so that's not for us. However, if we look to our right, we will find the card room. So let's take a look inside the card room really quick. Okay, so we just entered through those doors there. You can see they have lots of chairs, tables. There's a desk over there. Might be someone in here at some point if they're having an event or something like that to help you. They do have certain tables reserved right now, again for COVID-19, but this is the card room where you can come and play cards. You have cards out right there. Play cards, play some board games, read a book. It's usually nice and quiet. And as the sign tells us, Imperial Lounge, you'll see the Asian artwork continuing. I'm gonna lower my voice a little bit because they're having an event in here and I don't want to disturb them. Look at that, that's just gorgeous. Look at the color in that. So they do have a large bar here in the back. Plenty of seating. This is a very big venue. Tables, chairs, booths, things like that. And then this is like the DJ booth where they do the sound and audio, video kind of stuff in there. Now these are the doors that we talked about earlier. You can go out to get to the helipad. So you would go out there and then take a left to go to the forward part of the ship where you find the helipad. They're having some trivia event in here right now, but you can see lots of tables, lots of chairs, plenty of space in here. They do different events. They do game shows, they do karaoke, they have concert performances. Lots of fun stuff going on here in the Imperial Lounge. And of course, beyond that, to the forward part of the ship is the helipad. So that is going to wrap up deck number 5. So we're going to turn and head up to deck number 6. So up on deck 6 here, as you can see, we're at the forward part of the ship. Now, beginning with this deck, deck 6, deck 7, deck 8. What's going to happen here is the forward part of the ship is just staterooms. The middle part of the ship is staterooms. Well, it's because it's the promenade, so it's open, and if you have the promenade view room, you can see that. And there's only small things in the back. So we're at the forward part of the ship now. We're gonna go ahead and head to the back, and then that's what we're just gonna do. We're gonna go up 6, 7, 8 to show what's there, because again, nothing at the forward part of these decks or in the middle. So let's head to the back of deck 6. All right, so we now find ourselves towards the back of deck 6 here in the midship Centrum lift elevator area. One thing to show here, but it is a very important thing, of course, is the next cruise desk. This is where you can come while you're on board your current sailing and book your next cruise, as the name would suggest, and then we'll give you onboard credit as a incentive for doing so. So you're gonna check in here with them. They have their times, hours of operation posted here. Do recommend coming by early in your sailing and making a reservation and making an appointment so that you can meet with them here. But this is where it is on deck 6, right off the Centrum or midship elevator and stairwell. You can see I turn back around here and it's viewing back to the promenade. We're going to now head up to deck 7. All right, on deck 7 here, and just above where the next cruise desk was on deck 6, we will come and turn and find the library. So obviously I'm going to talk a bit quieter in here. As you would expect, this is an area just designated for you to come, relax, read a book, read a newspaper, magazine, work on your computer, any of that stuff. Very quiet space and a nice view of the Royal Promenade. And that's going to do it for deck 7. Let's head up to deck number 8. 8, feeling great. That's where we're at. One little thing to show you here on deck 8. towards the back, again, right above where the next cruise desk was on 6 and where the library was on 7, we turn and we find Royal Caribbean on Lynn. Oh no, the E is broken. Royal Caribbean Online, this is the computer desk area. Now, of course, if you purchase an internet package, you can use that from your mobile device, laptop, tablet, whatever you want to do. But this is a computer area for those who don't want to use that or don't have that available to them. I do believe you need to have an internet package, yes, to utilize the internet here. I don't think this is free. I think you would still need to have that package to be able to utilize this space. But they do have plenty of computers here. And as you can see, you can actually look down into the library. So that's pretty cool. And look out to the promenade. So this is just an additional space that you could come if you're looking for a quiet area. They do have some seating there, but maybe most importantly to point out, they do have a printer. So if you need to print documents, a boarding pass, something like that, you can do that here. I don't know if there's a cost or not. We did it on Anthem of the Seas and it was free. I'm not sure if it's the case here. I don't see anything about a cost, but I'm sure it would let you know if there was before you printed it. And now we'll look at this sign because it does have the E, so it is proper. So now we will head up to deck number 9. And deck number 9 is easy. It's just staterooms. Heading up to 10. All right, landing on deck number 10, and guess what? It's easy too. It's just staterooms. We're done here. We're heading up to 11. And at the very back of deck 11, right off the stairwell and elevator area, we do find the Windjammer Marketplace, which of course is the buffet on board Royal Caribbean ships. So you just head in here. Right now we're checking in with reservations or without reservations. They do recommend you make reservations, but it's not necessary. This is a COVID-19 protocol. It's temporary. It should not last forever. But once you check in here at the podium, then you can proceed forward. Alright, right when we enter the Windjammer here, after you check in at the podium, at least right now, we do have our hand washing stations on either side that we've known to come and love, of course. And we proceed forward, and we see the first food section. Now, of course, depending on which meal service it is, there will be different areas available, different foods available. You can see it's wide open in here. Plenty of tables and chairs, especially on this sailing, because we are at about 3rd occupancy. See those big windows over there? Look out, the ocean or the port, wherever you're at. And you see the sign here, Windjammer Bar. That's going to be back around. So let's head around here. We're just going to kind of do a little walk through. So if you want to get an idea of the kind of food that's available in the Windjammer for breakfast or lunch, unfortunately it's not available for dinner on our sailing. Be sure to go out and check out our vlogs that are in our Adventure of the Seas playlist, as we did show some of the food again for breakfast and lunch there. You can see plenty of tables, chairs, big windows again to look out, and the different food and beverage sections that are available throughout. So we're just gonna walk through here. It's pretty much all the same all the way around. At some point the food just begins repeating from one side to the other. But you can see the tables continue, square tables, rectangle tables, round tables, booth tables, and the food. It just continues. Nice and light and airy in here though. Wide open. And the big windows on the back. Look out the aft of the ship. And that is where we'll find the Windjammer Bar. So this is the halfway point. Now we head more towards the starboard side. And again, it's kind of like a mirror image. It's just gonna repeat. And they do have Coke Freestyle machines in the Windjammer here as well. It's currently turned off. I don't know if it's been like that for the whole cruise or not, but that's where you find that right there. Pretty much the same thing on both sides. Windows to look out at, some nice artwork, food, beverage stations. This part's closed down right now because they don't need it because our occupancy is so low that it's just not necessary. And when we finish our little roundabout here, this is the end of the line. And squeeze through, and that's it. That's it for the Windjammer. So we're gonna head out and do the rest of deck 11 now. So there's the entrance to the Windjammer there. Now we turn towards the starboard side of the ship, and we do see the sign here. It says Giovanni's Table. This, of course, is a specialty dining location on board the ship. This is one of Royal Caribbean's Italian restaurants. Nice Vespa scooter there. And they do have the menu board outside as well. We actually already dined here, so we do have footage of the inside as well as the menus. You want to go back and check out our day 4 vlog to get an idea of the full experience. So there you go. That's Giovanni's table, again, to the starboard side of the Windjammer. All right, right outside on deck 11, we're at the back end of the ship, just outside the Centrum or midship elevators and stairwells. On the starboard side of the ship, you come out, we have Arctic Zone. That's the soft serve yogurt, ice cream, whatever, you can grab that right there. And then as we turn, you'll see tables, chairs, loungers up ahead, because this, of course, is the pool deck on board. And so it's going to be pretty similar on both sides. You're gonna have tables and chairs like these, big windows that can open up. That'll be on the other side as well. The only difference being is that on this side, you have the Arctic Zone soft serve, and the other side you have like towel rental. So there's a couple different things. Now, first thing when we come out, you'll see here, this is Splashaway Bay, the kids splash area. They have water sprayers, they have water cannons, they have a fun slide. That's actually a pretty good slide for the kids area. You can climb up there, water buckets, dump it down, lots of fun stuff, fun things to be had there. Lots of loungers, chair space out here in the middle, of course, and they're even spaced out right now for COVID-19 protocol, but there's still plenty to be had and a great view of the big video board up top. When we go through the middle here, we'll land, we have the freshwater shower right there, as well as 2 jacuzzi hot tubs that are very large, placed here together, and these do have shades over them, as you can see, which is important to point out because when we come over here, you'll see the pool. This is one of the 2 pools, they're opposite here. Those 2 hot tubs that are smaller do not have shades or covers over them, so those are directly out in the sun. They have one pool on this side, and you have another pool on this side. They are the same depth. You can see again those loungers, tables, chairs continuing on over on that side. They do have an accessible lift to get into the pool. We always love to see that. And in the middle here, you see straight ahead is the pool bar, but just before that, right in front of me, is the stage. So they have musicians playing out during the day. That's where that will take place. And then they have lounges out here. And then reserved decks, you see it's going up there to the next level for concierge suites and Pinnacle members. You'll find the lifeguard station right here and the towel station, as I mentioned. This is also where you can grab life jackets. They have those here to rent out, scan and get your towels right there. Then you proceed forward into the solarium. Before we go into the solarium though, one more thing I wanted to point out is right here next to the lifeguard station on the port side of the ship. This is the smoking section. So you can find that here. You'll see the ashtrays and the designated smoking markers in the table. Now we'll turn and head into the solarium. Through the sliding glass doors, and of course the solarium is for 16 years or older. Photo identification will be required if you appear to be under 16, although I will say I've never seen them checking that. Not to say that they won't, but that's that. Nice crest right when we enter here. Definitely kind of like an Italian maybe theme, very European here. We do have a giant hot tub right when we enter, as well as a freshwater shower over there. Along the sides, on both sides of the solarium, tables and chairs, loungers in the middle, and then in the very middle is the solarium pool. 5 feet 1 inches, or 1 inch I guess I should say. It was 5 feet 3 inches for the main pools back in the regular pool deck area. So you can see they have that out there. Get a nice view to the upper decks. This is open air, this solarium, so the perimeter is covered, the solarium bar is covered, but out here in the pool area and the loungers is open air. It's not glassed in like some other Royal Caribbean solariums are. So the solarium bar, as I mentioned, bar seating there, currently closed because of COVID-19, but that is where they will have that. And then we do have another hot tub, exact same as the one on the other side. You can find that here, and that is covered. At night, they will have fiber optic lights up there twinkling that look like stars. So really cool, really nice. And of course, it always smells fantastic. And deck 11 forward, just outside of the fitness center area and inside the solarium here on the port side of the ship, you see these doors, and the sign here says Peekaboo Bridge. This is where you can go up and actually look down into the bridge of the ship where the captain and crew sail everything. As you can see, it's currently closed off here, but we went out here on day 1, so we'll put in some footage of that right now. All right, here at the forward part of deck 11, just forward of the solarium, we do find the Vitality Fitness Center and Spa area. So we're heading inside here, see if we can take a look around now. It is a lot more limited in here currently because they are doing reservations because of COVID-19, trying to keep distancing and stuff. You see this hours of operation there, and you see the sign says up to Vitality Spa and Salon. So that's actually going to be up on deck 12. Deck 11 here is just the fitness center. You see they have a vending machine with some Powerade, vitamin water. They have a central area, looks like for some group instruction, spinning, yoga, exercise balls. They have dumbbells, free weights, they have resistant machines, they have treadmills, just standard stuff that you would expect to see in the fitness center. It's actually pretty large, and they do have every other machine turned off to help keep that distancing and spacing throughout. They have televisions showing what's going on outside the ship. Maybe you can probably change that to sports or something like that. And it just continues on around. So lots of machines here, and they do have some yoga mats hung up on the side as well. So this is where you're gonna come, deck 11, very forward part of the ship for the fitness center to get a workout. Now you can go up the stairs, spiral staircase here, or you can go out and up the stairs to get to the spa. And we are finished with deck 11, so we're gonna head up and go up to deck 12 and look at the spa and salon entrance area. All right, up on deck 12, and like we mentioned, we are at the forward part of the ship here still. So we turn past the elevator and stairwell, and we see this is the entrance on 12 to the Vitality Spa Fitness Center. So you just go inside there, they'll be able to get your spa treatments done, get you taken care of, and that staircase from down below also comes up in there. And we're not gonna go in there today because they are doing distancing, they are doing reservations for COVID-19. So unfortunately we won't be able to show you the spa, but that's the entrance. You can find it here on deck 12 at the front, the forward part of the ship. Deck 12 forward, just outside of the spa there. And we turn and we will head outside of these sliding glass doors here. And you can look down into the solarium. But this is going to be like the outdoor running deck, you might call it. So you got the running and jogging or walking track right up here. And they do have lounge chairs available as well. So this is kind of like the sun deck, like the lounging deck. They do have these spaced currently for COVID-19 protocol, but it's kind of the same forward and back. You have lounge chairs spread out and the jogging track on this side. You have lounge chairs spread out, the jogging track on that side. And this area of deck 12 is right here at the Sky Bar. Serving up drinks, the hours of operation. Currently, bar seating is closed. You can't sit right at the bar, but you can order drinks and take it to go. And then they do have tables and chairs out here, out front. We're gonna proceed along to the back of deck 12. And now deck 12 in the rear or the aft of the ship, just outside of Adventure Ocean. We're gonna head towards the very back. And you see they do have some fun kind of games painted out here for the kids. They have tic-tac-toe, they have hopscotch, lots of fun stuff going on out here. This goes back inside to Adventure Ocean, so we're kind of just outside of that right now. This is opposite of the Johnny Rockets part of the ship. So Johnny Rockets is on the other side, and then they have the kids stuff out here on this side. But anyone's free to come through. Transverse here, you see they have the tables and chairs, more games painted on the floor, and then we come to the very back of the ship. You can see the landing area for the water slides. We'll get to that in just a second. We'll be round here with this fun art that we really like. Put up on the wall here. And we find the ping pong tables. So this is where they're located, here on deck 12 again. Back of the ship, just under the walkover for deck 13, so it's covered, the ping pong tables. They do have the paddles and balls here. One thing to point out, you see it says Adventure Dunes entrance. Of course, that's the mini golf. You see it's holes 1 through 6 are up along with the flow rider. But you do see some of the Adventure Dunes here. It's because it is a split level mini golf course. So holes 7, 8, and 9, as well as the ending of hole 6, are on this floor, on deck 12. And the course ends here with hole number 9, right by Johnny Rockets. Of course, this is an additional cost to dine at on board the Royal Caribbean ships, including Adventure of the Seas here. They do have some outdoor seating, you can see here, booth seating along the outside of the restaurant. And then the inside of the restaurant, you go through the doors. It is currently closed, but the good news is we ate here on night 2 of our sailing. That's a great look at Johnny Rockets. We enjoyed our meal there. And inside now on deck 12, and what we're going to find at the back of deck 12 here is the Adventure Ocean area. Of course, Adventure Ocean is the kids program on board Royal Caribbean ships. Now the good news is Adventure Ocean had an open house on day number 1, so we already came through and toured all of that. So we'll put that footage in right now.
So happy to
$20.
Yeah, for all ages, with the registration.
It's happening. Welcome aboard.
Go ahead. Thank you.
Nice to see you guys. See you around.
Thank you.
Share with you to please.
Oh, look at these fun little floor markers.
Oh, I think they're like, I think they're distance markers.
Ah, for the kiddos, right?
But they made them fun.
That is fun. Oh, and the animals on the wall. Wow, this is cool so far.
How are you?
Welcome aboard.
Hi. Thank you so much. Aquanaut room right now. Aquanauts is age 3 to 5. However, right now, because of just our numbers and physical distancing guidelines, we're not using this room for the Aquanauts. They're actually going to be bumped up into the Explorer room. So this is just our main entrance and sort of our office. So this is normally Explorers, which is 6 to 8, but again, this is where we're putting our 3 to 5-year-olds. We got, I mean, it's a pretty basic room. We've got our corner back there. We've got the little cozy corner back there. And the cupboards over there are filled with our toys that they can play with. And we're combining to make Explorer Voyagers. So this room will be 6 to 11 instead of 9 to 11.
Whoa. That's cool.
Yeah. Do you have any questions or anything?
Not really. Do you have like a nursery on board?
Not on board Adventure now.
Okay, gotcha. So it's from age what to what?
Adventure Ocean, which is the...
And across from Adventure Ocean, as the floor marker indicates, this is Optics, which is like the teen, they call it like a teen disco, but
Yeah.
teen area,
Yeah.
teen chill out spot, teen kick it and relaxing, teen scene. You make me feel like a teenage dream. Whoa, this is pretty cool.
This is really cool.
Looks like they have like the juice bar over there, soda bar, lots of lounge space, dance floor apparently.
What?
Dance floor apparently. There you go. Very nice. I really like the lighting that they're doing throughout the ship really so far, but especially here in the kids area. Look at that. It reflects off of there. These big bulbs. And look at this. New food or beverages in this area. So I don't quite understand what it is, but
Maybe it's just an area to play games. It has like a timer.
it almost looks like like they would have. The sound in here is odd too. Did you hear that? It's like a, I don't know if it's coming through on the camera, but there's like a good acoustic in here. It's almost like this is like a recording studio or something.
I don't know.
It
Maybe
is a teen disco.
Maybe they put like laptop. Is this like electrical stuff?
Maybe.
Maybe they like do like laptops. They do like almost like a gaming kind of thing in here.
I don't know.
I don't
It's
know.
interesting nonetheless. Very cool. Yeah, they have the bar here. Another cool hangout spot tucked up in there. It's like the VIP section. It's walled off a little bit. There you go.
This is fun.
Optics Teen Disco. So there you go. That's what Adventure Ocean looks like, as well as the Teen Disco Optics. Now, let's head in to the Challengers Arcade. Now, because of COVID-19, they do currently have certain games blocked off. So it's like every other one. But this will give you an idea of what is in here. This could change, of course. So we have Deal or No Deal, Flappy Bird, Winner's Cube, Monkey Ball, Fruit Ninja. We have this spiral game, Black Hole. We have Plucky Ducky. You can win a duck and hide it on the cruise somewhere. They have the charging station where you can put credits on a card. They have Stacker. They have Blackout. They have another Stacker. They have Subway Surfers. And then they have the like rocket shooting game. I always forget what this one's called. And in the middle they have two of the standard curved air hockey tables. And then in the middle of those, Joker versus Batman. One of our absolute favorites. Unfortunately, this is closed right now because of COVID. They have 3 skee ball, which this is like my favorite version of skee ball, the blue and green lit up colors. Unfortunately, those are all unavailable. They have a Ghostbusters shooter game. They have Speed of Light. Haunted Park 2 at the amusement park, that's a shooter. The miniature basketball. They have this like dinosaur Jurassic Escape. Guitar Hero. Hummer Extreme Edition racers. They have a Lane Master, like a bowling game. They have piano keys, Big Bass Wheel Pro, Split Second Racer, Mario Kart Arcade, and the very last thing, the Prize Hub. Deck 12 is the last deck going up that you can span all the way across, because as you see, Deck 13 is split. There's a sun deck here at the forward part of the ship, and then you have to go to the back to go up to 13 to get to the sports court, Perfect Storm water slides, Adventure Dunes, mini golf, and the Flowrider surf simulator. And so now we are on Deck 13, which is split into 3 parts. So the first part here at the front of the ship is just like this. It's just these glass walls with handrails and loungers for you to sunbathe in, just relax, read a book. On ships that have been amplified, they might have put water features or a mini golf course up here. This ship, of course, did not receive royal amplification due to COVID-19. So it's just a lounge space. That's it for the forward part of Deck 13. We ascended the steps from Deck 12 by the jogging track here. It's still the forward part of the ship. It's this little lounge space. It has this like faux grass floor to it. There's just some lounges up here. That's it. The back side, or I guess the front side of this sign, says Adventure of the Seas and has the logo and all that. But that's all that's up here. It's just a lounge space, just another additional sun deck, and there are stairs on either side. So you have it port side, starboard side. Come up the stairs from Deck 12, and again, just a little lounge space. It's pretty simple. Now the rest of Deck 13 is going to be in the back of the ship, the very back of the ship. So we're gonna head back there right now. So as we just mentioned a second ago, Flowrider, Adventure Dunes, beginning of the course are all up here on Deck 13 in the rear part of the ship. So let's head up here. So we showed you the forward 2 parts of Deck 13 that were just like the sun loungers areas. Sun decks. They do have lounges back here as well, and some kind of like stadium type seating, amphitheater type seating. And what else could that be for but the Flowrider, which is currently not running, but this is where it is. They just have the one. They do have an accessible lift here as well, because this is stairs, so that's good to know. So we're gonna go up here. This is still considered Deck 13. And this is where you'll sign up, do the Flowrider information, waivers and stuff, as well as where you go ascending the spiral staircase, you can see they are doing right now, to go on the Perfect Storm water slides. So these are the 2 slides that they have on board, just the 2 body slides, Typhoon and Cyclone. And I think they're pretty much similar. You see they come out, do a loop around. That one, the green and yellow one, goes out over the ship with the clear portion, and then they wrap back around, and then the blue and gray one goes out over the ship with the clear portion, and they come through and dump you out down here. And you can see they have like the lines and circles cut out, so it's gonna look like multicolors when you go through. Lots of fun doing that right up there. And this is where you will enter. This is where you'll also find your basic information for the Flowrider, as well as some tips on how to actually perform on the Flowrider. And then they have the measuring sticks here to make sure the correct height. Boogie boarding, 52 inches. Surfboarding on the Flowrider, 58 inches. And then they have for the water slides, both Cyclone and Typhoon, 48 inches tall. To do that with maximum weight, 250 pounds for the Cyclone, 220 pounds for the Typhoon. So you can do both of those right there. Now right next to the flow rider and water slide, you see the sign, Adventure Dunes, finished playing holes 7 through 9 downstairs like we talked about, because holes 1 through 6, at least the beginning of 6, are up here on this side, on the, where we at, starboard side of deck 13. And the reason I keep saying that about hole number 6 is because this is the beginning of hole 6. You hit it from there, over to here, up the reverse waterfall, and down the whirlpool drain, and then it's gonna shoot out and do this cool little metal, like, wrap around maze thing down to the cup. And so you just take the stairs once you hit it down, and then you finish down there. But I come over here to point out and show you that this is where you can get clubs, various lengths and sizes, as well as your golf balls of various colors. And they have hand sanitizing wipes and wipes for their clubs and balls as well. Now, right next to Adventure Dunes, we find some other fun things. The basketball court. Unfortunately for our sailing, they're not currently doing free play basketball because of COVID-19. So they think it's something that's gonna come back pretty soon here. They are doing tournaments like free throw contest or 3-point contest or whatever, things like that that are organized activities, but they don't have free play going on right now, which is unfortunate. But it is the full-size court. It does have the 2 rims. I don't know if they, you know, on most ships they put out soccer nets as well. I haven't seen any. I don't know if they do that here and if they're just not doing it right now or if they don't have it, but haven't seen that. They do have a lot of bench seating on either side, some more additional seating here, as well as a water fountain if you need that while you're playing. So lots of fun to be had around the basketball court. And then if we wind back over here, this is just the perfect storm water slides, Typhoon and Cyclone. One last thing to point out here on deck 13, well, it's really on deck 14, but I'm gonna show you on deck 13. On the port side, that is the sun deck for the suite lounge. So it's the suite deck up top there. We are not staying in a suite, so I cannot access that, but you would access that from inside the suite lounge, or there's the gate here, suite lounge, guest access only. I mean, it is open, but I'm not gonna go in because I'm not a suite guest, so follow the rules. But it's just a standard tables and chairs lounge area, and then you can go back into the suite lounge there. I said that the suite deck was the last thing we wanted to show you, but there's actually one more thing. It's not technically on this deck, just like the suite deck was not technically on this deck, but the access point for it is on this deck, and that is the rock climbing wall. See, the arrow goes up, it says do not enter right now because they're not doing rock climbing. This is where you can find the information for it, the hours of operation, and then it is up there, technically on deck 14 on the outside, back side of the stack and the funnels, right there. That's where you'll find the rock climbing wall. Now we're gonna head inside and go up to deck 14 to show you the rest of it. All right, up on deck 14 now, and just as a reminder, from this point on, deck 14 and 15 are only going to be at the aft of the ship. The forward part of the ship does not have deck 14 or 15. So right when we come up the stairs here, we see the entrance to the suite lounge. Fortunately, we are not staying in a suite, so we cannot go inside and show you that, but that is where you would enter for that. On the port side, at the back of the ship on deck 14. Now we turn, we see this cool musical carpeting here. This goes inside the Blue Moon Lounge. So back over there through the elevators is the stairwell, and that was where the entrance to the suite lounge was, which we mentioned we could not access because we are not suite guests. However, if you come back around this wall, these glass doors let you get a little sneak peek, show you what the suite lounge is like. Some nice comfortable chairs in there and a beautiful view. You see the sign here, Blue Moon. It's gonna have a musical theme to it. Instruments abound. Have some cool artwork up on the wall here. And it's really cool because some of the artwork will change as you walk past. Now this is just standard artwork. When we come back around into this part of the lounge, see there, Louis Armstrong playing the trumpet. See, all the different artists moving and shaking, looking at you, looking down at the piano, moving all around. So that's pretty cool artwork. And on this side of the ship, starboard side of the ship, you see the entrance to the Diamond Club Lounge. We are not Diamond Club members yet. We will be soon, so we cannot go in there. Can I give you an idea of what the Blue Moon Lounge looks like, or Viking Crown Lounge? kind of used interchangeably. Big open space, lots of tables, chairs, loungers. They have a stage there for performances or if they're having some kind of game show. And of course the bar in the middle here. Big panoramic windows all the way around so you can look out at sea or at the port that you're at. And they do have restrooms in the back here as well. So that's going to do it for deck 14. There's only one more thing on deck 15, which is up these stairs here. Let's check it out. All right, up on deck 15, the last part of the ship, the tallest part, and we find the Skylight Chapel. As we mentioned, on ships that have received royal amplification, this has become an escape room, like Mariner, Navigator, Independence. But on this ship, it is still the Skylight Chapel. This is deck 15, back of the ship, the tallest part that you can access. All right, guys, that's going to do it for our ship tour today. We hope you enjoyed. We hope you found this informative. And we hope it makes you want to come on Adventure of the Seas.
We've really enjoyed our time so far on this ship, and we're just so happy that cruising is back. And we hope that you're ready to get back to cruising too.
That's right, and if you are, feel free to reach out via that travel agent information you can find in the description of this video that you're watching right now. We would love to help book that cruise vacation for you, and it's completely free and complimentary to you to utilize our services. So we hope we'll hear from you soon. Once again, we hope you enjoyed today's video. Hope you'll check out the rest of our Adventure of the Seas playlist. But until next time, we're signing off.
Happy travels!